All right, welcome. We're going to start sitting tonight. We're just going to move through like a full body evening flow tonight, one to kind of loosen everything out and move you around a bit and get you ready for a nice restful sleep. A little bit of strength training in the mix. So finding a comfortable seat. You can cross your legs if that's okay. If that doesn't feel good, extend your legs, sit on your heels, get a cushion, a pillow, a folded blanket, whatever makes you feel supported and tall. I always like to check in with a minute or two of mindfulness. So you can close your eyes all the way or just drop your lids down halfway or 2/3. And then start to just notice what's going on around you and inside of you. If you're feeling agitated or a little bit all over the place, you can turn your palms down. So bringing your palms onto your thighs. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of energy, maybe you're a little bit drained after a long day, you can turn your palms up. That's more of a gesture of like receptivity, openness. So whatever you feel better with. I'm going to go for grounding. Let your attention come down to your sit bones, feeling nice and weighted. If you're feeling a little uneasy, you can move a little bit, side to side and front to back, just trying to find a nice balanced place in the center. And then when you feel like you've kind of landed, let yourself just sort of snap into that neutral alignment. I heard a really great piece from a yoga teacher I like this week, and I want to share it. So we're always talking about trying to find that length in the spine and height. He said, if you keep your heart open and lifted, your spine will do what it needs to. So let's bring the attention to that chest space. So lifting up into your heart, let your shoulders drop down gently, and then just try to keep that feeling of broad and high. And then bring your attention to your breath. Start to notice how it feels to breathe. Where can you feel sensation? Where can you feel tightness or space? Just noticing, trying not to judge. And then keeping that feeling of groundedness and of lift, we're going to start to tune in with that breath a little further by starting to kind of amend it. So just gently finding a soft closure at the back of your throat that makes a little sound for you. So Ujjayi breathing, that ocean sounding breath. You're still going to inhale and exhale through your nose, but you'll be able to hear it a little bit as it comes in and out. For our theme for this evening, or for our sort of thread, we're going to work with that particular breath sound. So just keeping that in the back of your mind, and I'll remind you to pull back to it when you start to lose it a little bit. But if you start to lose that kind of fluidity of that flow of your breath, it's time to slow down, take a modification, come to your child's pose. So we'll spend another minute or two here in that Ujjayi space. Soft eyes, nice and relaxed as you continue to breathe. This breath is grounding, energizing, focusing, and I find it to be cleansing as well. So it's a great breath pattern to come to whenever you're feeling stressed. You can try to let your exhales be just a little bit longer than your inhales. Take a few rounds there. So maybe you inhale for a count of 3 or 4 and you exhale for 5 or 6. See how that feels. We're going to keep that breath flow as we come toward our warm-ups for the evening. Bring your hands together at your heart. Keep that feeling of deep weight. Your eyes can be open or closed. As you inhale, start to stretch your palms up to the sky. You can look up if that feels good. Exhale, bring them back down. And take a few rounds, just connecting breath to movement. Each inhale finds that reach. Each exhale brings you back. As you exhale, you can lift your belly button up and in gently, starting to warm up through your belly, your abdominals. Great. The next time that you reach up, let your palms separate. And then as you exhale, turn one hand down and reach toward the floor, tipping over in a side bend. Keep both sit bones anchored to the floor, so rather than letting your hip lift up, use your hand to press away and get a little bit of leverage. You can soften your elbow. We're just looking to make space through the ribcage. A few big breaths here. Come back to that Ujjayi flow. Nice. Press into your grounded palm and bring yourself up. Inhale to reach high. As you exhale, let yourself turn the other way. Great. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, just relax your arms back down. We're going to shift ourselves toward table, so coming onto your hands and knees. Find your knees nice and below the hips, wrists under your shoulders. We'll move through cat and cow first. Let a breath in, just keep you neutral. And then as you breathe out, find that first motion of rounding, dropping down. Inhale to flip as you tip your tail up and bring your heart forward. And exhale, draw your belly button to your spine, let your head hang heavy. Move through a few more rounds at your own pace. Let that Ujjayi breath initiate each movement. The next time that you inhale, bring yourself back to a nice neutral spine. Find that table pose. We're going to take a similar flow, but we're just going to add a few postures to the mix. So each breath in brings you back to this nice neutrality. As you breathe out, first shift back to an extended child's pose. Press yourself down. Inhale, come back to table. As you exhale, curl your toes under and shift your hips back for downward dog. Inhale, table. Uncurl your toes, exhale, extended child's pose. Inhale, table. Exhale, downward dog. So let yourself move through a few more rounds. Each breath in, again, comes back to table. The exhales alternate between the two. Just starting to warm up the entire back body. Coming into that space of shoulder work, length through the backs of your legs. The next time that you come down to that child's pose, bring yourself down and then walk your fingertips a little further forward. We'll linger here for a few breaths. See if you can lift your elbows right off of the mat, tenting your fingertips. You can widen your hands a lot if you need to make some space in your shoulders and your neck. Let your next breath in bring you back to table. Same motion. Breathe out, come to your downward dog. And again, we'll linger. So this time you might like to move a little bit, bend, sway, twist, whatever feels good. And then let yourself settle in for a few steady breaths in that downward dog. The only movement be that of your breath. We're going to bring ourselves forward to plank. Next breath in, soften your knees, start to round your upper back as you press forward. And then once you get forward, drive your heels back, lift your belly up in space. You can always bring your knees down to the floor. Take a couple of big breaths here. Great. As you exhale, soften your elbows, bring yourself all the way down to the mat. Unravel your toes so the tops of your feet come to the floor. And then let's move through a little baby cobra flow. Each breath in presses your feet and pelvis down and lifts your heart up. Breath out, relaxes your heart to the floor. Let's take a few more. Last one, rise up. Great, exhale, bring it down. We're going to move back through downward facing dog. You can push up through plank or through table first, whatever feels more available. And then just settling in for a breath here. Hips tip up high. Next breath in, same motion, knees soften. This time we're looking forward. We're going to walk to our hands. I'm going to move back so the contrast is a little better. You can see me. Let yourself drop over your legs, dangling forward fold. Move your shoulders. You can bend your legs. Or you can just hang. You scoop your low belly in a little bit. You can get a little closer to your legs. Over time, that happens too. And then if it feels good, you might like to rock side to side or front to back. Come back to that deeply rooting Ujjayi breath. Three more breaths in your forward fold, moving or still. Let your next breath in, bend your knees nice and deeply. Head still hangs heavy as you breathe out, press into your feet, and then start to root down as you unravel yourself. Lift your belly up. And let your head be the last thing to rise as you stack your spine. Open your shoulders, open your chest. Let's ground into mountain pose, root down, rise up tall. You turn your palms to face forward, or you can let them rest by your side. Or if it feels better for you to come together at your heart, that's a nice place to be too. Let's just take a few big breaths here. Feel even weight through right and left sides. And then those opposing forces of grounding down, but also lengthening out. Soften your gaze or close your eyes and tune into the sound of that Ujjayi flow. Great. Let's continue moving. Keep that weight, keep that flow of breath. As you inhale, reach yourself up to the sky. Maybe look to your thumbs. As you exhale, separate your palms, bring them back to your sides. Do more like this. Deep weight in both feet. Big lift in the heart. Rounding down, belly button rises. A little bit of engagement. A few more. I like to take most of my yoga practice with my eyes closed. Up to you how much of it feels good. I find it to be a little easier to tune my attention inward instead of being distracted outwardly. Okay, most of the rest of the day. Bring it down. Let's take one more big reach up. And then we'll linger. Find that absolute. So as you ground into your feet, you feel that deep weight and you reach a little higher. And again, we're just finding that space through the rib cage on both sides, making a little more room for oxygen to come into your lungs. Feel like you can find a space where your shoulders can drop down a little bit still. Last couple of breaths. It's a very active posture. It seems simple, but you're rooting down well, lengthening up. Great. Last 3 full breaths here. It's like your own little traction for your spine. As you exhale, let your palms start to float down to your sides. Come back to that mountain space. Soften your gaze and take a few breaths. And just feel what you feel. Maybe your shoulders are starting to get warm. You can sense some energy in your hands. Or whatever else. Just let it be whatever it is. Not holding on too tightly to any feelings, because they all come and go. Great. Let's continue finding that warmth. We'll move through some gentle salutations tonight. Grounding down at the top end of your mat, palms turning forward in your mountain pose. As you inhale, start to reach yourself high. As you exhale, same thing, palms separate, but this time we bring ourselves down with a nice long back, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen up halfway, bringing your hands to your shins, thighs, or the floor. As you exhale, drop your head down. Soften your knees and step your left foot back. We're going to come into a runner's lunge, so just leaning yourself forward, tented fingertips, or fists sideways with thumbs left out. Let your heart space come to the front of the room. Just 3 more breaths here. Nice. We're going to shift to downward dog from here. Ground your palms down and then tip your hips up and step your right foot back to join your left. Taking a breath. Let's come to that same lunge on the left. Inhale, find softness at your knees. As you exhale, bring your left knee towards your belly and then step your foot between your hands. Sink your right heel back a little further and then lean your heart into it. So all the work's in the legs. Your fingertips are down, but it shouldn't be strained to your wrists. You should be able to kind of float with them a little bit, play with them. Feel that drive back of the right heel and a little tone at your inner thighs to hold you centered. 2 more breaths on this side. Nice. Same motion, palms ground down, hips tip up, step it back, downward facing dog. Reach your hips for the tip top of the wall. Find your belly button engaging, gently lifting. Find your biceps kind of turning toward one another, or right biceps to left. And then kind of feel that little squeeze. Two more breaths here. Great. Inhale, softness at your knees. Exhale, right foot steps forward. This time we're going to turn ourselves into a warrior one. So your left heel turns in, left toes turn out about 45 degrees. Find some nice weight in your front foot. Make sure that your back foot stays anchored. And then when you're ready, inhale, reach yourself up to the sky. Great. So find that kind of twist from the rib cage, bringing your ribs forward. Keep as much weight in your back foot as you have in your front. Nice steady Ujjayi flow, 2 more breaths. At your next exhale, bring your hands to the floor. Spin your back foot so that you land on the ball of it. Tip your hips up and step it back. Second side, inhale softness at your knees. Exhale, left foot forward. Let's spin open for that warrior one. When you feel ready, deeply weighted, and bring it up on a breath in. And again, we're trying to find that sort of turn forward from the ribs. Be soft where you can, so relax through your jaws, through the space in between your eyebrows. Last 2 breaths on this side. As you exhale, shift down, same motion, tip it back, downward facing dog. You can always come into puppy pose by lowering your knees here and extending through your spine, or coming all the way back for child's pose if that's better. Last pose in this series, inhale, finding softness. Exhale, right foot steps forward. We're going to stay in that lunge, so walk the left heel back a little bit. Find that tone, and then we're going to rise up through Crescent Lunge. When you're ready, a little squeeze at the inner thighs, reach it up. Left glutes are going to be deeply engaged. Find that little squeeze here to support you. Great. Last 3 breaths. As you exhale, hands touch down. One more time, downward facing dog. Inhale, softness. Exhale, left foot forward for that Crescent Lunge. Always setting up from the base. Once you feel good and supported, let a breath in bring you up. Find some containment at the ribs. Make sure belly draws in and up. Your front toes spread rather than grip to the floor. Make room there. Last 2 breaths on this side. Nice. As you exhale, touch down. We're going to step forward rather than back this time. So you can straighten up your left leg a little, soften your right knee, and then step your feet toward one another, melting forward. Let yourself hang for a few breaths. And again, the option to move back and forth is there if that feels good. Find some nice deep weight through both feet. Root down, and on your next breath in, you're going to draw a big circle out to the sides, reaching all the way back up. As you exhale, come to mountain pose. Hands can be at your heart or to your sides. A few deep breaths here. Feel what you feel. Great. We're going to step wide. So you can bring hands to your hips, take a big bend as you breathe in. As you breathe out, widen up your stance. So for the moment, toes are facing forward. Everything's nice and aligned. See if you can feel yourself lift your arches a little. That's going to find some tone at the inner thighs. And just coming to that star pose, reaching arms out to sides. Take a few big breaths here. Nice. Feel like you can, press your fingers a little further away from one another. We're going to take a little bit of twisting here. So big breath in the center. As you breathe out, bring your right arm down and across toward your left pinky toe. Inhale, rise back up. Keep that pull between the inner thighs. Exhale, left arm to right foot. And up. Let's take a few more. Each breath in comes through the center. Each breath out finds that toe reach. Keep your belly button drawing inward. Make it work for your core, as well as that nice twisting through the spine. A few more each way. Nice ujjayi breath as you move. Great. Jess, you look beautiful. One more each way. So moving towards your left, towards your right, back to center. We're going to turn toes out and move right into our goddess squat flow. So your heels come in, your toes turn out. All that matters here is that when you sink in, your knees and your toes go in the same direction. So rather than toes out and knees kind of knobbling in, we want to find this space where we can sink in. So you might need to shorten it up a little. You might need to widen the stance. We're going to flow. As you inhale, you're going to reach arms up and bring your seat down. So it goes inhale to squat. Exhale, rise up. Inhale. And up. A few more. Find that ujjayi breath. Find a little squeeze between the inner thighs as you rise up. Lift through your glutes. Awesome. We're going to take 5 more. Nice and controlled with the breath. We're not rushing, we're not stifling. And again, if your breath does feel a little bit stifled, that means it's time to slow her down or gentler up, I was going to say. Ease up, take it easy, find a spot that works better for you. Last 2. And this time as we sit, let's linger. We'll come to cactus arms, so elbows kind of out by your ears, palms forward. Keep your knees pressing back. They want to roll in. Find that engagement, find that work. Beautiful. 3 more breaths right here. Next exhale, we're going to press down into the feet and rise up. And relax your arms to your sides. Great. We're going to keep right toes facing that way. So kind of turn yourself more to the front of the mat and then draw your left heel in. Toes are facing out, similar to that warrior one. We're going to move through triangle. Inhale, stretch nice and wide side to side. And then as you exhale, lean to your right. So you're keeping nice space here. Drive your right femur back into your hip joint. And then when you get to that edge, your hand draws down, you reach up high to the left. Great. So you may be here, you may be here, maybe even a little further. Eventually we're reaching maybe for that big toe. But you want nice space in your right waist. You don't want to collapse into it. 3 more breaths on this side. Nice, even weight through both feet. Inhale, rise up. Keep your legs strong. As you exhale, pivot. We're going to take it the other way. So left toes to the end of your mat. Back heel shifts. Big breath in to reach to that left side. Both legs are straight. Exhale to drop down and rise up. Nice and gentle flow of breath softens through your jaws and eyes. Really lovely. One more breath to stay. Inhale, pull it up through center. We're going to turn all toes back to the front end. Nice wide stance. Bring your hands to your sides and inhale. Reach up tall through the crown of your head. As you exhale, tip your pelvis forward and come into that nice long wide leg forward fold. Hands will touch down. We want to bring weight forward. So feel the weight in the balls of your feet rather than in your heels. It's going to give your knees a little more space. And then let your head drop down any amount. Keep the weight coming forward, balls of your feet, toes. A few deep breaths here. Feel that same lift through the arches that pulls all the way up into your inner thighs. Use your fingertips and inhale, rise back up halfway. As you exhale, heel and toe a little closer together. And then bring yourself into forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. Your knees are soft here. We're going to make our way back down to the floor from here. You're going to start to just turn yourself back toward the front of your mat, around your palms, and bring yourself to your downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here. And then we'll move through our plank. Inhale, softness at your knees. Exhale, round yourself forward and through. Couple of deep breaths here. Pull everything in at your belly. Keep your neck nice and neutral. Great. As you exhale, bring it all the way down. And same thing again, we'll lengthen legs out behind. We're going to move through a locust flow. So quite similar to our Cobra, except arms come along sides. And the opportunity to lift your legs up here is part of it as well. You can just do the chest or legs or both. So as you inhale, your pelvis grounds down, chest, arms, and legs. Exhale, bring it back. A few more like this with your own breath. Last 3. Last 1, rise up and bring it back down. Bring your hands under your shoulders, around your forehead, and just take a breath. We're going to shift ourselves back to sitting on our heels, so pressing up through your table, and then coming to sitting down on your heels. If that's too tight, you can always put a blanket or a pillow between your heels and your bum. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Turn your palms down on your thighs and just take a few deep breaths here. Great. I'm going to move through my favorite little finishing sequence from here. So first we'll come to staff pose or Dandasana. The legs come straight ahead of you. Your sit bones are like your feet in this pose. So it's just basically like a seated mountain. You're grounded down, you're rising up, belly is contained. Fingertips can rest beside you if you feel like you've got some nice openness at the heart. If you feel like you're caving in a little, let your hands come behind to lift that heart up. A few deep breaths here as you flex out through the balls of both feet. Keep your heels grounding down, feel your thighs engage. Great. 3 more breaths right here. Let your next breath in reach you forward to bring your left sole up into your right thigh. So move from Dandasana to Janusirsasana. You're going to find that your knee wants to pop up, just working toward thigh and foot together. That knee's going to drop out over time as your hips get a little softer. Keep your right leg engaged and inhale, sit a little taller. And then as you exhale, turning your belly toward your knee a little bit, you're going to reach forward. If you're leaning in with your heart, you might use your hands. You don't need to use your hands. You can definitely just rest beside your thigh or beside your calf. That feels good. If it's okay to reach forward and still have some nice space in your heart, then you can come here. Inhale, start to bring yourself back upright. And then as you exhale, you're going to cross your left foot over your right knee. Keep that right leg long. We're going to move into our seated twist. Big breath in to root down and rise up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to bring your right arm to wrap around that left leg, moving yourself towards your left. Trying to keep that heart space wide and open. Hands can rest here, or if you want a little more support, you can drop your left fingertips behind you. A few deep breaths here. Let your next breath in unravel you gently. Bring you back to that staff pose, taking a few big breaths here. Feel that it's work in your back to stay nice and lifted. Let your belly support you. And again, you keep that chest up and proud. Your spine will help keep it self-direct. Let's move into the second side. Bring your right sole into your left thigh. Keep that feeling of rooting down deeply. Inhale to sit a little taller. Exhale as you gently turn to your left leg and reach yourself forward any amount. Make your way there over time. Remember that nice steady ujjayi flow. Great. Keeping your sit bones anchored, inhale, use your hands to rise up. Move right into our twist, stepping right foot over your left knee. Inhale, sit nice and tall, and then again, this time it's the left arm that helps turn you from your belly to the right. Let your spine stay long, your shoulders relax. Next breath in, take your time and unravel. Unfurl your legs, and one more time we're going to sit tall in that staff pose. And then keeping your legs where they are, we're going to fold ourselves forward. So any amount. As you breathe out, belly draws in, and then you start to lean onto your legs. So maybe it's right here, that's perfect. Maybe you feel better to reach a little, and that's okay. So we've got some length. There is going to be a little drop down at some point. You can let your head hang heavy. But still try to feel like you've got a little bit of openness out that heart space. I like Kuvera Mudra here, so that's index and middle finger wrapped around the big toe, touching the pad of your thumbs. Maybe, maybe not. Keep your heels grounding down, so let your legs stay nice and engaged for 5 more breaths. If you're holding on, let go, but stay right where you are. Bring your hands back beside you, and then bring yourself upright. We're going to make our way down onto our backs. So you might just scoot yourself a little closer to your heels, and you can either lower down or roll to one side if that's better. Once you land, bring your hands to your belly, and then heel and toe your feet apart a little bit so you get a nice width. You're going to let your legs sway from side to side. You can leave them on your belly or let them drop out. Come back through center. Heel and toe a little closer, and then bring your arms out to sides, palms facing up so your chest can open. Press your feet into the floor, lift your hips over to the left. Inhale, bring your knees to your belly, and then exhale, drop them over to your right in a twist. You can keep your knees stacked, or you can cross left over right to take you a little further if that feels appropriate. Either way, soften your gaze, tune into your ujjayi breath, and feel free to turn your head in whichever direction feels better for your neck. My preference is just to stay in the center. your next breath in, bring you back to center. Then just take a minute to bring your hips to the middle of your mat and then over to the right. When you're ready, a breath in floats your knees up, and a breath out drops you over to your left. And again, same options. You can stay stacked or find that crossover, right over and then under left. Let your next breath in roll you back through center, unraveling your legs if they are raveled up. Bring your hips back to the middle of your mat, and then let your knees pull into your belly and chest for a little squeeze and rock. Then we're going to come towards Shavasana. So planting your feet one at a time and then starting to extend your legs. Check in to see how that feels in your low back. If that's okay, then we'll stay here. If it's not agreeable for you, you can plant your feet nice and wide and then let your knees drop in. That'll make a little more space across your sacrum. Or you can use something under your knees like a bolster or a few pillows or blankets propped up. Let your arms drop out to your sides. You might bring your shoulder blades a little closer together. Open up across the chest. Your hands turn up. Your toes can drop out a little. Relax the muscles of your face. And then let your breath go. It'll move on its own as you linger here for a few moments of relaxation. You can stay here for as long as it feels good for you. When you're ready to come out, you can just give yourself time and space to do that gently, tuning back into your breath, wiggling fingers and toes softly and kind of building up the momentum of that movement. I like to move through little circles with my wrists and ankles. Maybe into a big full body stretch. No rush to get there. Shavasana is a really important part of your practice. Gives your body kind of time to imprint what you did. Once you stay tapped into that parasympathetic nervous system, sort of rest response. So when you're ready to roll over, you can just ease yourself up to a comfortable seat. If you're feeling up to it after a little practice like that, there's a nice space in your body and your mind. It might be a good time to tap in for your meditation for the evening. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me from afar. Much love. Namaste. Thanks, folks.